Thank you everyone for joining on this your busy day. I appreciate that you have taken up time, which shows your interest in subject like mindfulness. So I'm glad that you all of are here and joining this webinar on mindfulness. So a warm welcome and very good evening to all of you. There is a huge word which a lot of people talk about mindfulness. Mindfulness, it is becoming a buzzword. A lot of people talk about it. And so today we will take a little glimpse of it, what mindfulness is, what is our understanding of mindfulness, and how this program or mindfulness is useful to you. So question to you that why are we unproductive? Even if we know that, we have a skill, we have knowledge, we have ability, but somehow we feel that, we are unproductive. Raise your hand if any of you feel or in your organization feel that, yes, I feel that so my skill set has not been put in the right direction. I tell you, all of us feel at some point of time that, our abilities and our skills are not put in use in the right manner. Our knowledge, our education. And next question to you, like this is a thought-provoking question which I gave it to you. Think about it. And second question is, what makes you truly happy? What are the things that makes you truly joyful? You just open like a flower. You see the things, you do the things, you enjoy doing what you do. Think about it. But if you see more, we are looking very outward to find something which gives us happiness, maybe a food or maybe an experience or maybe an outcome. We are very outwardly driven to find happiness. If the environment is not very conducive to give you happiness, do you think the whole experience remain unhappy and happiness is the only thing you are running after? Just the food to thought. Okay. Now, what is happening? Why are we unproductive? And things which makes me truly happy are very interconnected. Okay? Because this changes the whole dynamic. Something will make you happy was very different, and when as you grown up, the things that makes you happy are very different. This just changes. Why? And there is a reason. The humans have made a remarkable progress in past 1 century. We have developed technology that allow us to communicate faster with each other, allow how we are doing today, even travel faster, and even live longer for the matter. But what do you think? Does our mental capacities have increased exponentially the way we have developed our external resources? There is a Susan David who from Harvard Medical School, and she says that the feeling distracted and unproductive is something most people struggle with, especially because most of us are constantly bombarded with the news alert, text messages, and interruptions by our own thoughts and desires. And feeling overwhelmed can bring a lot of emotion, frustration, anger, and anxiety that can take a further toll on your productivity, your well-being, and as well as your mood and happiness. And so why this happening? To run with that fast world, we need to create a life which is faster than the running faster world. We want to run even faster, and even though our mental capacities are not aligned. I will ask you a question. Do you remember when you really felt truly relaxed? You said you are going for a holiday, you want to relax. Were you truly relaxed? Where your mind was not meandering? What should I do in holidays? Thinking about some unpleasant incident or planning about some future events, thinking that next time when I go, I will do something like this. Sometimes there's so much going on in our life and in the world that you can't focus what you are doing in that particular time. What you can, just simply sit in one place and relax. We have just lost that ability to do that. We feel bored, we feel agitated if we have nothing else to do, and we feel highly distracted. So this thing happen even when we are working. We get very less focus. We can't focus on one thing, one task for a longer duration. And that's why we become a little more unproductive and unhappy also, because the desired result we expect from ourselves, we don't get it. I give this example. How many times when you start from home, going to your office or going to some place or to work, what are you thinking at that particular time? You start to sit on a driving car or you start thinking what I'm going to do in office. I have these meetings. Your brain is constantly working and while you are traveling or driving. The moment you reach office, you start working, you start thinking, oh, when is next Saturday and Sunday coming? I should go on holiday to this place. What happens when you go to that place? Boom, a 4 days holiday, you are back to your holiday place, or maybe in Kandala or at Lonavala or somewhere place, or very near place, wherever you guys are in yours. And there your mind doesn't stop and start thinking, oh, I have such a to-do list. When I go back to office, I have to call these people. I have missed calling last week these people. And you're not on your holiday. You are thinking of your to-do list. Unfortunately, most of our day passes like this. We're living in a fast world, stressful world, which never let us take a break, relax, or reconnect with our own self. And that's what we are living in, a fast-paced life. So how can we stay healthy and happy if we are not connected with the things that truly matters to us? That's my question when I started. What makes you truly productive, and what makes you happy? These are the very interconnected world which we are working on. And so the more important part is that our happiness depends that how long are we there. The bottom line is how well we stay healthy and happy is our ability to be in this moment and consuming this moment, be it happy or sad. Just be in this particular moment, enjoy the experience, and appreciate what we have in current moment. But we somehow losing this ability. Okay, our attention spans are shrinking. Now, why this attention spans are shrinking? Now, I will come to that why is that shrinking. Now, how many of you think that what I just said is mindfulness? That be present in the moment, enjoy what you are doing? I just came back from US and there was a conference, and I said, is my definition of mindfulness different from your definition? And somebody was saying, and I just remembered that the ad in India, Meri kameez, aapki kameez, safed kaise? Types. So is my definition of mindfulness is different from your definition of mindfulness? What do you think your definition for mindfulness is? Predominantly, we feel that, mindfulness is just being in present moment. But this canvas is wide and broad. It consists of larger things. I don't want to sound too complex, but mindfulness can also be a genuinely listening, genuinely looking at something, okay, understanding us and other people, observing the moment with complete awareness, and where this awareness comes from, where is your attention span goes. So being totally present in a very different dimensions, because human dimensions are wide and a canvas is quite big. Now, let me ask you this question. Have you experienced while driving your car, and suddenly there's a moment that you don't remember the chunk of the driving journey? A lot of us face this situation. Then we're driving car and just kaboom, in between we don't know what happened in between, and you are at one signal or a destination you have reached to, or you sometimes start eating. I give you another example. Sometimes you start eating a snack or chips or something, and suddenly you put your hand that nothing is there. You have just eaten mindlessly, and you realize, oh, it's finished. How many of you would raise your hand if something happened with you, something like this, that you're just eating chips and oh, there's nothing, it's finished, I ate it all? And or reading a book, that you read 4 or 5 pages, and while you're reading, you're thinking, but then there's blank. You don't know what 4 pages were all about, and you have to go back and read, and then you see, I think I read, but let me read it again for the sake of knowing that I missed it. Now, this is what is happening, that the brain is actually going in a blank mode, and this mode is called mind wandering, where your brain is into default mode network. It just flies away to some other thoughts, which is connected with your referential thinking. You connect with something and the thought takes you, your awareness goes, the eyes are seeing what is happening in front, but the brain is not recording because it's busy in doing something else, which he feels are more important than what you are doing. So sometimes people ask me, is my brain separate from me? And I say yes, because brain is a far powerful machine than you, only when you realize it. So there are some more examples of mindlessness. I call it autopilot, or a very interesting mode, I call it zombie mode, okay, where we're just doing something zombily, and we don't realize where we're walking to. Suddenly we walk into some place and realize, oh, I'm in the wrong place. You start from your room and go to the next room and realizes, why did I came to this room? I don't remember that why I started and coming to. Or open a window on your computer and realizes, why did I open this window? What I'm supposed to do? Or start with the phone. I can give you 1 million example of this mindlessness, and science has described this state as called DMN, default mode network. And it's somewhat, mindfulness is opposite to mindlessness, where you lost your mind somewhere because mind is lost somewhere, and it's you are not in control of this mind. And the monks call it monkey mind. It's constantly jumping from one tree to another, one banana to another, eats half banana, throws. So do we do half thought, half imagination, next and next. And I like this ad also relate to or the cow types. And brain is like always doing this, or the cow. And this is what mind is what our conscious awareness is sometime. And uh, uh, and this habit of spending nearly every waking moment lost in these thoughts, and we leave ourselves on mercy of our own brain, that where my brain takes me, there I am. Then mindfulness is the way of breaking this spell, that you out of this spell which the brain is casting on you. And it is found that most of the time brain takes you to a little more gloomy thoughts. 92% of thoughts are gloomy because brain doesn't record too much of happy thoughts, because you are not enjoying your happy moment. You are more thinking about things which are not right in your life, rather than thinking about what went right in your life. So mindfulness is that quality of alertness, that open awareness, and its contrast to that monkey mind, which is constantly multitasking, multi-thought process. And then mindfulness is the state of mind, ability to pay attention to one thing at a time, at present, with full consciousness. Does that make some sense to you guys? And the beauty part is that it's nothing to do. Earlier mindfulness, when I used to speak 10 years ago about mindfulness, people say it's religious. You are talking about stuff which is more into ritual practices of Hinduism or Buddhism. But when science started working on it, and I have the data of last 10 years, what happened, the science suddenly go boom. And thanks to COVID, it just opened the Pandora box, and how much mental issues we are facing. Over 5,000 years of human history and scientific research has shown that mindfulness has been a big impact in our life, starting from yogic practices to all our sages and scientists. And the practices they did to enhance their mental ability was based out of mindfulness. And that's why a lot of research started happening, that we are doing so much of technological advancement, but is our brain has capacity to deal with it? And because the more advancement we do, the probability, the more stress we create, and lesser we have a control on personal and professional behaviors. So the mindfulness, the science has found, is a deep reservoir of wisdom and well-being. There is an interesting guy called Tim Ferriss. He interviewed about 500 top world-class performers to know what makes them that success. How the successful people tick. By interviewing them, he found that at least 80% of them has some kind of mindfulness practice. And also they found the top elite, the high achievers, know the mindfulness is the game changer. Be a sportsman or a businessman or a performer or a musician or artist. I was listening to Bobby McFerrin, and he just quoted that how much he tap into mindfulness to he do his a cappella and then all kind of music forms, that he connects with him as an actor, as a musician, as a technical guys. That you can really tap into your professional and personal resources, which are your storehouses. But since we are not connected with our own self, we are not able to tap, and we constantly looking outward, which is everything is inward. So benefits are too huge, and that's the reason most of these people adopted mindfulness. Scientists have also found that mindfulness practice can train your brain. This was a myth at one time. I don't know how many of you know it. A lot of time earlier what said, you cannot teach old folks new tricks. Now it's changed. It's changed. Brain is just trainable like your body. It's malleable like plastic, and that's why it's called neuroplasticity. And scientists have found mindfulness practice can train your brain. They're the same way you can train your body. And the result is there is a study done by SAP, and SAP has found, this study has shown that in the 4 weeks of practices, they found with their teams, the happiness increased by 8%, and then further meaning and satisfaction in their life increased by 10%, ability to focus increased by 12%, mental clarity and creativity increased by 11%, and then stress went down to 5%. Further, they continued with the 2 week, 6 week practice, and it's not stopped. It further increased by 6.5%. Meaning and satisfaction in life increased by 7%. Ability to focus, which is the most important thing, increased by 10%. Creativity and mental clarity, we call it brain fog. If you will join the program, you will understand more deeply about what I'm trying to say. Further increased by 7%. And stress, something got lost is stress. The more happiness increases, the stress comes down. So there are a lot of proven benefits. A lot of us are very scientifically driven. Does it has empirical data? Does it has tested measures? And interesting is now we have enough data to support that is found that people who consistently practice mindfulness enjoy a lot of benefit. And their brain get more structured. It can think more clearly. So you the lost of that, you are all scattered, you cannot gather things, you want to write a book, but you have an idea, but you can't put the idea put together because brain is not structured. It's running from one here to here, two pages you can't put all together. But you see the people who are structurally thinking, they can focus at one point. So you have a better decision making because it reduces cognitive rigidity and increase something called mental flexibility, where you're flexible, you're not rigid with your idea. And you become more creative and innovative thing. You are not that hard and rigid anymore. You are more open, you are malleable, you are innovative, you are learning. You can have a childlike innocence, very important for leaders and especially who are problem solvers. It also gives you a very important thing. It improves your character. You act more ethically, and which makes you healthier. And you are more compassionate about your own self and others. So your relationship becomes better with other people. And that's the biggest asset you will earn. As a trainer, you will first learn it, how you to do it. There are, this list just goes and on. It increases your resilience, enhance your creativity, productivity goes up, decision-making improves. And one thing I want to tell you which improves is your work-life relationship. I will not say word balance, but relationship. You know what thing to give importance at what time. It's not that you are with your family thinking about your work, and when you work, you're thinking about your family or holiday. You know how to balance. You respect your time, what you are spending wherever. And this improves the organizational culture. So that is why most of the organizations want now mindfulness to be incorporated. They're like a Mahindra or Tata or all top organizations want mindfulness as one of the pillar in their organization because it improves the relationship, it cultures, it reduces the conflict, it has more team cohesiveness, and one thing which very much needed is called mental well-being. You go to gym for health, but what you do if your mental health is not well? When your mental health becomes better, you see you have enhanced focus, you have a concentration, you have better emotional regulation. You don't get sad like that. You don't get upset like that. Yes, I'm upset, and you have an ability to bounce back. You're not very judgmental about people, and that reduces your reactivity because you are more aware, and that becomes more improved regulation of your emotions and resilience. While this all happens, all dear friends, one thing you gain out of it, that you sleep very well. The day you start practicing mindfulness, you see your sleep quality improves. You sleep like a child. 9:30 you will sleep, 10 o'clock you will sleep, and you will get up fresh in the morning because the brain is much more at rest. It's not jumping like monkey. And I'm so glad that all of you have joined, and I would love to share more and more knowledge of mine, which I have worked for years to design this program. This is the only program in the world which is approved by ICF and CPT. Like when you do this program, you get ICF certified trainer. And also you become a CPD certified, means that you can practice either in UK or other parts of the world while you are certified. I spent almost 25 years of mine in corporate world. I graduated in a business, in international business, run large organization. I saw the plight of leaders and people who work there. And then I decided that I need to do something about the mental health, because complexities are increasing, but ability to deal with complexity is not increasing anymore. The mental abilities are not growing, but complexities are growing, and pandemic has further catapulted everything in a very different manner. The complexities are further. You see the AI introduced, other new technologies are getting introduced. The people who get older to 40 years not able to cope up with that kind of change world is seeing. Neither the children are able to cope up, because the amount of knowledge we accumulated in last 10 years is 100 times more than what the mankind has collected in 5,000 years. Imagine the plight of those children who have to do the reading of all the data which is coming updated. So I worked on this journey, and I now work with a lot of neuroscientists worldwide. I've been recently invited to talk in Washington DC about the subject of mindfulness. Also been invited by the federal government to talk to various departments in US, that how can they bring mindfulness in day-to-day life to their leaders, their creative teams. And there is a huge need for mindfulness trainers in the world. It is said that at one time it will be a situation that humans will need about 100 people will need one mindfulness teacher, because there will be shortage of mindfulness teachers in this world. So let me talk about Mindfulness Foundation Trainer Program, what all you have to join for. So Mindfulness Trainer Program is a globally accredited, internationally certified flagship program, which teaches the mindfulness with emotion intelligence and backed by neuroscience. It's a more scientific program. How do you learn mindfulness? How do you change yourself? And while the benefits of joining this program is first to you. Now you have a reduction in your own stress, you have improved focus, you have emotional well-being, you have a resilience comes to you, and then you have self-compassion, and you have better mind-body connections. If you are a trainer, if you are a coach, if you are doing in something in training, first is your personal benefit. Second is, as a trainer, you learn advanced mindfulness training skill and comprehensive understanding of mindfulness principles, theories, practices, and how do you do it. And then you understand what is the diverse application. It's not about mindfulness is only to people who want to do performance, but how it works in various contexts, such as workplaces, clinical settings, schools, arts, sports. You see the diverse application. You get a professional certification, so then you can train people, foster the trust among client and organization, because you're certified from a reputable institution. You also build a connection and community of like-minded professionals, so then it brings collaboration and continuous learning. And then we give you a customized program that you don't have to do anything. You just plug and play that program, and then the moment you pass out, you get your license to practice, or your certificate to practice, and there you start the next stage. And also the important thing which we share with you, the ethical guidelines in mindfulness training, ensuring the responsible and respectable approach mindfulness to people. Then we'll also share how you can develop your businesses and how can grow. When we talk about 10x growth of your own business, how can you really use this power of mindfulness in various settings, and then how you can draw your personal goal and your practices. And these are the few benefits as a trainer you will get. There's a large benefit to organization. When you go back to organization, definitely, as I spoke, you can tell people that they have a increased productivity, team development they can do, that the team dynamism will change. People will attend the organization more, they will not be absent, they have improved leadership, work culture changes, creativity improves, and decision making also gets improved. When you complete the program, you get the completion certificate, and certificate that will be like certificate look like this. You will be ICF certified and CPD certified mindfulness trainer. And then these are the two certifications you get while you do this 12-week online program. First part of the program will be you learn what is mindfulness, focus on understanding the science of mindfulness. It's very important. Second part will be how do you embody these practices. It will increase your attention and mental clarity. And so this will be you learn what the science is all about and how do you embody that. And then third skill you will get is that the last part is that professional skill to become an effective mindfulness trainer. So these are the three pillars of this program: learn, embody, and teach. What you will get 12-week intensive course. You will be a advanced learning management system which you can do program at your own pace. You will have meditations, videos, and audios. And this video also consists of sessions with mindfulness and EI experts. Great, Pawan. Thank you so much for joining today. Pawan, what was the one thing that you find interesting in the program? Would you like to share with others?
Yeah, one thing which I really loved about this training program, the way it is organized, as a lot of them spoke about. The LMS is fantastic. Means it's at your own pace. You know what you're doing, and it covers most of the things you really want. Means you have a lot of questions when you join this session, so those questions, most of them are answered. And once you're set, that's when you appear, and that's where it just goes out and you really answer those questions. You take us through the journey of mindfulness. That's something which I really love about Mindful Science Center. And if I have to really talk about myself, I think one thing, the first thing I would say, which I learned out of this, is being aware of what you're doing, or at any given point in time. So that's really helped. The example which you were giving while you're driving, I think I'm more aware of where I pass through and what I see these days compared to what I used to before I really did this training.
What shifted? What changed in your life?
Yeah, there's a huge change. I would say people are noticing that change. I used to be someone who used to get upset pretty fast, and I used to be someone who wanted things done in no time. So those were things, and on a professional front, being a manager, I always used to be the one who used to talk a lot. So now the team notices that I wait, I listen to them. And that pause, which I learned to give that pause between conversations, has really helped. So these are things, and definitely at home, they've started noticing a different Pawan altogether, who is more calm, peaceful, who has time now for the family, and who knows how to really say, I'm done with my work, and now it's time for my daughter or for my wife. So those are things which I really feel has helped me a lot.
The leader, what changed in you?
Yeah, I would say one thing which has definitely benefited me is people trust you when you have science behind anything you do these days. Okay, it's not like those days where you had a guru who used to teach you and you blindly believed and then you're done. These days, people ask for validity of what really means. Where's the science behind this? Don't give me the gyan. So I think this is the only kind of training program where you will get the backup, where you say, okay, it's not that I'm just giving you GAN. Here is the data. So this is what the data really talks about. So I think that's the plus point, which I've seen at least training. Unfortunately, I cannot train outside IBM because I have the contract where I can do it only inside IBM. But I do it in my personal circles. The first thing they ask is, I have heard of all these things. What's the real thing about it? Then when I say that here is the Harvard data, or here is the data which says that, okay, for the last 15 years, the amount of research which has been done, which is proving that mindfulness really helps you build your professional or personal careers, or on a very personal side, I think that's where people really start trusting you as a person. Now, not only being a trainer, I've also become a coach of a kind, where people come in and ask me for more because they definitely know that I have something which I can back them up with and give them an article to read. So that's where I think this program really will help you if you want if you're looking at being a professional coach or a trainer.
Thank you so much, Pawan. I'm glad that this is benefiting you, is changing the work culture in your organization, and it has benefited in your personal. I'm so glad that you joined this session. Thank you so much. my humble gratitude to you.
Thank you so much. As I, Manish, if you remember the first session I had told, it's my selfishness to have a better life for myself and have better people, means happier people around me. So that still persists with me. So yeah,
I'm glad that you are practicing, and we
yeah.
all can see the reflection in what you are saying and what's coming out from you. Thank you so much again. Um, there are, I just run this, that this is a 12-week program. Then you need to do it like how Bhavan just shared. We have an LMS system, where advanced learning management, where then we'll take this knowledge further to how you train yourself, and then how can you train others in this in Mindful Foundation. You will get the training material, facilitator guide, presentation deck, toolkits. You will also, if you enroll for 30 days mindfulness activities, in doing that time, you will have a weekly assignments and practicums to do. And we also now starting a special session. How do you market yourself? That's an optional if you would like to choose on it. And I definitely also give one-on-one mentoring session while you submit your practicum. I then help you that what has gone right or wrong, and how can you optimize your learning. Two tips which I would like to share while you all join, that you should not go, irrespective of you join program or not. 5 good tips I want to share with you if you are a trainer or a teacher or would like to become teacher. Number 1 tip is that introduce mindfulness concept very clearly, because a lot of people do this ambiguity about the whole thing. And this is one thing which I make sure that, the concept of mindfulness is very clearly understood by us. So teach your participants very clearly. Begin with a clear and concise introduction of what mindfulness exactly means, and define the benefits and application in workplace, because most of the time we relate it from the working then to ourselves, and then give relatable examples. I tell stories while I relate the examples. So to give a relatable examples. Number 2 tip is that start with the basic mindfulness. Just don't go become like, I want to do an advanced practices. We have a very simple practices, one cycle of breath, simple exercises. Okay, do not make it too complex, because then people think that it's too complex a subject to work on. Okay, and then begin with breathing exercises probably. Third tip is that incorporate interactive activities. It's not only a bookish kind of knowledge that you read some book or gyan session, like how Pawan said. It's not a gyan, should not look like preaching session or gyan session. Introduce interactive activities, group discussion, short mindfulness exercises, and then encourage open dialogue. This is how I run my sessions. I create open session, ask people questions during that, like how I was asking you guys questions. Tip number 4, provide practical application at workplace. Just don't give some gyan and big words. It's more practical. How do you use, how to be compassionate? It has to be more practical thought. Connect with real world scenarios, discuss the effect of it. And the 5th tip is that give some resources to people to read who would like to read. And I give a lot of resources while you do that. Your reading material is enough. So these are the 5 tips, and then also encourage them to take it to the communities, not only your personal practices. The more you spread, like how Pawan also said, it's make your environment better, because you have selfish interest that you should live in a better environment. Thank you again for joining. You can scan this if you would like to know more about the program, or take a screenshot of this and scan and then connect with me.